In 1979, American director George Miller created one of the greatest post-apocalyptic movies of all time, Mad Max. Wait, that's too far. In 1983, Japanese artist Tetsuhara and writer Bronson created one of the greatest shonen mangas of all time, Fist of the North Star. Wait, no, that's not right either. In 18... Stop it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, created by the immortal vampire himself, Haruhiko Araki. Since January 1st of 1987, we witnessed the absolute insanity that is JoJo. From sun-breathing to manifestation of human fighting spirits to aliens to time traveling to people made of rocks. JoJo has been far from normal. And because of the absurdity and the bizarre nature of JoJo, the manga has been massively successful, spanning over 3 decades, with the latest part, JoJo Land, still being worked on to this day. With all these protagonists and stories, one must ask, how does one experience JoJo? Well, you can read the manga, but what if you can't read? Well, you can watch the anime. That covers everything up to Stone Ocean, with Steel Ball Run coming soon, hopefully. But what if you're blind and deaf? First off, what's wrong with you? Second, if you don't wish to read or watch JoJo, well, you can always play it. Being in the industry for 30 years, it was bound to receive a video game adaptation. But which game do you play? That's basically what this video is about, so I'm going to play and decide which JoJo game is a definite must play and what's something you can forget about. Now, I will not be including the mobile games in JoJo Survivors. JoJo Survivors is a Japan-only battle royale arcade game that won't make it overseas. And even if I want to include the mobile games, tough luck Chuddy, the servers are dead. I will only be talking about the games that were released on home console, so let's start with the first one. On the 5th of March 1993, the first known JoJo game was released to the public of Japan on the Super Famicom. Developed by Winkysoft and published by Cobra Team, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure follows the storyline of Stardust Crusaders, with some differences here and there, examples being elements being outright removed or rewritten. Now, this game is an RPG, and I'm not so fond of RPGs, but since it's JoJo, I have to try it out. Okay, I'm definitely not the audience for this game, and I doubt those who are, they're willing to actually enjoy this. It's a point-and-click adventure game where you control Jotaro as he gets ready to travel the world to kill Dio to save his mom. As I said, this game is a point-and-click style RPG with a party system, items, upgrades, and leveling. This game, while it may be fun to play, say in the 90s, it's incredibly weak. While I'm not a big fan of RPGs, I wouldn't think or dream about playing this. The pace of this game is just generally slow. It takes a while to get anywhere. It does move the story along as fast as possible because you leave Japan and go straight to India and then Egypt, but that won't make up for the confusion of this game because it doesn't really offer a navigation system, so you don't really have any idea of where you're going to. You're just walking around until something new happens. The combat is your typical RPG affairs. Launch attack, wait your turn, etc. So you're just doing basic attacks that are randomized, mind you. It would have been better if skills were selected in the menu so you can actually use them, like Star Finger for example, and not something that has a 1 in 10 chance of happening. If you like the consistent music loop that isn't totally annoying, I guess you come to the right place. Also seek help. This game does have some charm to it, seeing as it is a JoJo game, but is it something worth playing even now? No, not really. Japan, December 2nd of 1998. Also in September of 1999. We're gonna ignore that for now. A second JoJo game enters the scene, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future. First released in arcades and soon home consoles, and this is the first JoJo game to be released in the US. This game is special because not only was it published and developed by Capcom, it's actually a game you can play with your friends because this is the first ever JoJo fighting game. I'm familiar with this game. I mean, I played it before, but for the sake of the video, I'll play it once more. Yep, I'm still not good at fighting games. Now, I could be a contrarian and say how this game is overrated. Why would I want to lie to myself? This game is damn near mint. The story is the same as before, mainly following the storyline of Stardust Crusaders, but you do get to choose different characters and play out their storylines, which is kinda nice. This is an arc style fighting game. You got your basic combo strings, command grabs, special moves, but since this is JoJo related, you can also use character stands. It's not infinite though. If the stand sustains too much damage, it will retract and you have to wait for the cooldown. The music. What more needs to be said? My only complaint is that, well, I may just be bad at fighting games, but the characters who have ranged attacks are usually the worst, and since this game has a fixed difficulty, the bots tend to spam the same ranged attacks if you're in the corner. Again, maybe I just got filtered, but to me it's a real annoyance, but that's not really the fault of the game, now is it? Besides that, what can I say? It's one of the first good JoJo games to be released. Controls are responsive, the sprite and artwork is amazing, got some great music, and by the looks of it, a competitive scene. Even though this game is almost 30 years old, the FGC, or a minority, scratch that, a minority of a minority, still play this game to this day even. I just wouldn't want to play against one, that's all. July 25th of 2002, Japan would receive another JoJo game, but this time on the PS2, and no one would expect JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Golden Wind. Developed and published again by Capcom, this JoJo game is a 3D style beat 'em up, mainly focusing on the story of Golden Wind. Now, when I was a young newbie, I wanted to play this game, but since it was Japan only, I'd be stuck watching the fan-made translations on YouTube. As time moved on, a fan translation of the game has been released and is available to play, so now all I need to do is buy a copy of. So now all I need is a PS2 and a way to apply the patch on disc. Luckily for me, I know the method. Don't look at it. Okay, this one is interesting. Off the bat, no multiplayer. Seeing as this game is a beat 'em up with stands, they had to make sure it's something that can't be used constantly, so the stands are on a set time limit, and we like that. It's the story of Golden Wind, so not much to be said. I will say this is ambitious, seeing as this is the first adaptation of a JoJo media that isn't Stardust Crusaders. At the same time, be realistic. You think people in 2002 were vibing with Golden Wind like that? The gameplay offers your basic fares of attack, special attacks, 2 variants, dodge, etc. One neat thing though, now this idea isn't new, it was featured in Heritage for the Future, but here it's actually noticeable. The neat thing is that when you're playing the game, you have the ability to raise your JoJo ability. This system allows players to gain more health and increase the stand timer if they perform certain moves, attacks, or scenarios that happened in the manga. Basically, it rewards players for reading the manga and acting out the scenes in game. This will be a cool feature to see in something like a Dragon Ball game. But you get the joke. The controls at times feel a tad unresponsive. There's a noticeable delay between your input and action. Most of the time you'll be fighting with the camera because this game features a fixed camera. It can only move when your character moves. Music, I like it, enough said. I won't complain about the graphics as this is a PS2 game released in 2002. So, they did what they could while staying faithful to Araki's art style. Overall, this game is a neat time capsule. Yes, it shows its age, but it's nothing that extreme. If you would like to witness the 2002 JoJo experience, you can check it out. Then again, your biggest obstacle will definitely be the controls and the camera. The game is fine. If you fear you might get filtered, just play with an open mind. The 26th of October, the year is 2006, Japan was lucky enough to be graced with another JoJo game. This is primarily focusing on Phantom Blood, which is weird considering the first one on the PS2 was Golden Wind. I digress, this time being published by Bandai and developed by Anchor Inc. They've done nothing but wrestling games. This here is another beat 'em up title, and just like Golden Wind, it was a Japan exclusive. Thankfully, there was a translated English patch, so allow me to apply that to game disc, and let's see if it was worth the wait. Well, the camera can move, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of this. If the issue in Golden Wind was that you can't move the camera in the direction, with Phantom Blood, you're fighting the camera to get it into that angle that isn't horrendous. It's a real slog in the beginning, but when you lock Hamon, it picks up. Not that bad. Music, I tuned it out because it doesn't stand out. Unlike Golden Wind, you don't get any special boost or power-ups, when you recreate scenes that happen in the manga, but you do get alternate cutscenes for fights where Jonathan loses. There's 3 different game modes that can be played. Most interesting one is Dio mode, where you play as Dio, so that's cool. And the game sports a variety of different characters to play as, which is interesting, I guess. But this game is without its flaws. The controls are a bit stiff. It's akin to like that of tank controls. This game has a lock-on, but on my life, I swear, this is the worst lock-on I've ever witnessed. In order to lock on, you have to be guarding full stop through the entire fight just to organize yourself in combat so it isn't so disorienting. Perhaps I'm getting filtered, whatever it may be, but I'm not a fan of this. I mean, if you're a fan of Phantom Blood, you might get some kick out of this, but as it stands, as an overall JoJo game, I'd rather read it than just experience it. It has been 7 years since a JoJo game was released. Well, it's been 14 years since a JoJo released in the US. So, besides that, it's been quiet on the Western Front, but there was hope. With the release of the JoJo anime, it only made sense if we got a video game to follow the hype of Phantom Blood and battle tendencies. We were all lucky that day because on the 29th of August, Japan was blessed with a new JoJo, a spiritual successor to Heritage for the Future, All-Star Battle. Basically think of Heritage for the Future but 3D. A proper JoJo game, a proper JoJo fighting game released after all these years, this time featuring characters from Phantom Blood all the way up to JoJolian, whilst the part was still being made. Developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Bandai again, these guys usually know a thing or two about anime fighting games, so it can't be that bad. That means it must be good. Also, ignore the shaders. My PS3 is acting weird. Yeah, I'm still not good, but besides my fighting game skills, what about the game itself? Well, although it feels and looks like a successor to HFTF, it misses the mark. Perhaps another skill issue, but the controls for the most part feel great. I can control the character with the buttons that I press, and we like that. Gameplay doesn't seem as fast as HFTF, it's a bit slow in comparison. The music is kind of good, I won't lie there. This game does have a story, and it's pretty much the same as the last 4 games, but this time, it's following every part up until part 8, which is just Josuke going around fighting the other Joestars to find out who he is. There's also a special reward for manga accuracy, customizable characters, outfits, taunts, victory poses, and best of all, multiplayer. An online multiplayer. The servers are dead, but hey, when it was out, it would have been amazing. This game, while it may not replace HFTF to some, but for a modern, at the time, JoJo game, it's not a bad game to start with. Is that bow? Well, so far we've gotten 5 JoJo games, some not so good, some cinema. However, just when it seemed like it was over, we got hit with another JoJo bomb. Because on December 17th, 2015, 2 years after All-Star Battle, Japan was blessed with another JoJo game, Eyes of Heaven, released and published again by Bandai and CyberConnect. This JoJo game was set to be massive. It was set to be big. We assumed this because the game hyped up that it had featured 52 playable characters. And this is also the first JoJo game that has its own original story. Could this be a hidden gem with the collection? Was this game worth the hype? Did people waste their time with this? Well, only one way to find out. Good news and bad news. Bad news, this is a JoJo Arena Fighter. I think you heard right, a arena fighter, because those games always perform well. This game is sort of extremely mediocre. It's just a simple one-button combat, nothing cool, nothing fun, no local multiplayer, only online. But good luck with the servers, they're definitely dead. The story is interesting at least. The premise, Dio is back again. This time he attained heaven, so it's up to Jotaro to stop him again. So basically Stardust Crusaders with extra steps. Very bland, not gonna lie. But even with all its faults, I have to say the good news, the fan service is indeed incredible. From the customizations to the poses, victory screens, even the dual team attack, everything is just amazing. This is the game's strongest selling point. It's definitely the fan service. I mean, in what JoJo game will you get Phantom Blood Dio and Stardust Crusaders Dio doing a special move together and being damn near in sync? This is just this is just peak. The game itself is real bland and a boring experience, but the interactions, I must say, they make up for it. But at the same time, I'm afraid that YouTube exists for a reason, and this is that said reason. If you want to see them, just watch them yourself. You thought we were done. No, we're not. We still have one more game to cover. It's a remaster, so I'll make it quick. September 1st of 2022, All-Star Battle R hits Japan and the rest of the world the next day. All it seems to be is a remaster of All-Star Battle, so everything should be the same. To my surprise, they changed it. For starters, combat seems to be a bit more faster than before, and some of the moves have been either buffed or nerfed. The old DLC content of All-Star Battle has been added into the base game, including new characters for the game itself. Despite being a remaster, the story mode has been totally rehauled. It still follows the same basic story beats of the manga, but still cool. Man, this game had so much promise to be a little decent JoJo modern fighting game, but it suffers from one fatal flaw. More than one, but let's focus on the major one. The online matchmaking is absolute dog. I swear, they gave this game server farms that get energy from hamsters running in the wheel. Did they underestimate the amount of JoJo fans out there? Did they not care? But regardless of how they treated the servers and the netcode and the matchmaking and all that, this could have been a great JoJo game. But as it stands now, I mean, it's not even that bad, but man, the online really kills it for me. Okay, now it's time. Which one of these games can be deemed fun and capture the pure JoJo experience? Well, off the bat, Heritage for the Future, go figure, the JoJo game made by a recognizable gaming company is actually good even to this day. But that just covers Stardust Crusaders. What about the other parts? Well, to be honest, All-Star Battle is a pretty close second. It covers most of JoJo in enough detail so you're not totally lost. It's pretty fun to play. But I did say there's 2.5 good JoJo games. The half game is All-Star Battle R, basically the same. Some changes here and there, but overall it covers JoJo relatively well. Also, since the anime of Golden Wind and Stone Ocean exists, we can now have anime-accurate voice actors. As for the others, Golden Wind for the PS2, while, yeah, it does show its age, it also might be a little rough to get into. It's something to try out. Eyes of Heaven relies heavy on the abundance of fan service. Without it, it's really a nothing burger of a game. The Phantom Blood game, while I wasn't a fan of it, might have something for someone. Now again, it depends because this one also shows its age. As for the Famicom game, just don't bother.